Why men avoid good women. I had a comment, shout out, drop your comments down below in the DMs. If you got a question, I've got answers. Had a comment come in specifically asking towards the YouTube channel. Made a video about why women avoid good men, and it's got some steam. A lot of people catching views and value over there. Go check it out if you haven't already. And it just inspired me this week to really touch base, because I understand inside of the dating game, it feels like sometimes the cards are just stacked against you. Like you can't figure out why all the good women, as it can occur in your life, are not experiencing the happiness, the joy, the happily ever after of good men in their life. Come across women all the time with money, houses, cars. They got the kids maybe, or at least they got the dog, but they can't seem to get a man. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like your circumstances? Talking to you over there on YouTube. Now you see out in the social media environment, IG models, strippers, sex workers, OnlyFans, they get all the attention. In theory, we'll dive into that. But what about the boss chicks? What about the baddies? What about the strong, independent women that are getting flued out, getting success, opportunities, brand deals, sponsorships, monetization, content creation? It seems like you just can't help but watch everybody else out there win. Or worst case scenario, you might be going through this dating game. You might be entertaining, dating some guys. Maybe you got some direction. Maybe you got somebody in your corner, a coach, helping you. But maybe you can get a man, but can't keep a man. It just seems like there's something that's not clicking, and good men are avoiding good women. Is it the piss in the dating pool? What is it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive in on in this message. So with that, let me take a step back. I am Dwayne Langham, the architect. I'm teaching you the ways of masculine men and how to get what you want in the dating game, in your relationships, using your divine feminine energy, ladies. You just tuned in for another live, and this week's topic, we're diving right in, and we're going to unpack why men avoid good women. So a couple of things, just keeping shop things I need you to do for me. Go ahead, make sure you hit the like, thumbs up, share this to someone you know you feel in your heart could use this message. They just aren't getting it, aren't seeing the whole picture, and you know this is going to have something that's going to make their day and make a difference for them in their dating life. So please get that out there. If you haven't already, subscribe, follow. Again, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok every week. Make sure you don't miss the latest videos. I want you to grab a free copy of my book. It's an ebook. Deep dive into the divine. It's going to give you all the basics you need to understand and follow along with the conversation, talking about divine masculine and feminine energy. We have it in both of us. We have both in all of us. And this is impacting your platonic dynamics, romantic, familial, professional, all of them. These universal energies, once you get these filters on, you just start to see things a bit differently. And inside of my work, it makes things so much easier. And it also makes it easier for you to follow along with these messages. So moving right along, again, the reminder, if you've got questions, if you hear something that pertains to your life situation, drop a message down in the comments, shoot me a DM, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you got to get the question out. I've got the answers. I'm making these videos every week, content all the time. I want to make sure that we all win. Let's jump right in. Who is this going to be for? Well, ladies, this is for you. If you're a woman looking to embrace femininity, seeking relationships with masculine men. Now that's a broad stroke, but I mean, it's pretty clear. You want your femininity? You want a masculine man? You're in the right place. You're tired of feeling like everyone else can get a man, but yours is just out of reach over and over again. And I mean, the biggest trope, again, you can get a man, but you can't keep a man. Why is that? That's what we're going to crack inside of this. It feels like they're avoiding you. Well, let's get the logic on the other side of the coin so that we can better understand and better put you in position so that they are drawn in, so that they are attracted, so that they cannot resist but to get close to you and all that beautiful feminine goodness that you have for them. I normally give you steps to follow, but with this, I really just want to give you the psyche of a man. I'm a man. I understand them, and I feel like that's the big bro way. I can just give you clarity to the other side and let you know, sis, like, yo, for what you want, for what you need, this is how the game's gonna work. You gotta understand, he's not experienced with women. Why do men avoid women? Because of insecurities and inexperience. Men who are not competent, not capable, not ready, and I'm not even talking about good men. I'm not talking about men who are gonna lead or do all the right things, just men in general. We've got to build up, men on this other side, brick by brick. We don't get the attention, we don't get the credit, we don't get anything without gaining experience, without gaining knowledge, without gaining value. So inside of that, one reason you could be experiencing a man who seems to be avoiding you is he's just not that experienced with women. So that's the first thing. Let's go a bit deeper. There's a book title to this one, right? He's just not that into you. So this one may be a little bit harder, getting into that rejection space. That's never fun. However, it's par for the course. There could be many reasons for that. Maybe it's your appearance. Maybe it's the attraction. Maybe you're not his type. Maybe it's the look. Maybe it's the chemistry, right? Maybe the sexual desire is not there. The polarity is not there. But understand, like, it's okay. I want you to understand that you can take the pressure off of there being something wrong with you, because all of this included, everything I'm going to tell you about what's over on the men's side, there's still what's ideal for you. That's the purpose of focusing on you. That's the purpose of the journaling, broadcasting the energy, being clear on your ideals and standards so that you are ready for what you want. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So let's continue on. Maybe it's your beliefs and values. Maybe you've had some conversation and there's something that he's into, and not even necessarily like yours are wrong. Maybe he's at the trap house every week and you study at the pulpit. Maybe you go into church. Maybe you go into Bible study. See, if those things don't align, it just is what it is. I kind of touched on this earlier before, personality, right? Maybe he's avoiding you because he's just not into you because the personality clashes. Maybe you're too much of a tomboy. Maybe he's not into sports enough. Maybe he's, into some other things, anime and things that you just have no interest in, no desire. Your backgrounds are just different. I'm giving you the world of, there's nothing wrong with you. Y'all are just not a good match. Everybody who's attracted to you, everybody who you come across, everybody who catches your eye does not need to be your future, does not need to be a part of your life, does not need access to you. So keep that in mind. Stand on your square and let's keep it moving. What else are some of the reasons that men avoid good women? He's not available, he's not ready, or he's not looking for a relationship. This can show up in a multitude of ways. And the first, I'm sure you might already be aware, he's already in a relationship. Now, with full disclosure, that's not necessarily non-monogamy, ethical non-monogamy, transparency, polyamory, just being in communication, being transparent and honest. That's not what I'm talking about. But he's unavailable because he's already tied up. He's already got a woman elsewhere. And ladies, please don't be the one. Please don't be the one caught up chasing the man that has other women and is not available for a relationship, the type of relationship that you want. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what your ego, identity, validation tells you. You're not the one to crack that code. You're not the one to fix that, solve that, or open him up. Don't be waiting in the winds if he's not clear that he wants you. Don't let the attraction that because somebody else sees him valuable, that he's more valuable, that he's more desirable. Don't let that be the thing. Let him be the one for you. Let him want to make you his partner. And that's the reason. And you won't even be concerned with this conversation about why men are avoiding good women. Another thing, he may not be available, ready, or looking for a relationship if he's immature, if he's selfish. And this is not a bad thing either. If it's his time to be selfish, what happens when you get into a relationship? You got to be responsible for somebody else. You got to take others into consideration. You know this just as much. Maybe he's not ready for that. You don't need to make it wrong, and it'll do you best just to accept it so that it helps you let go. Maybe he is immature, hasn't experienced enough. Again, going back to the top. And with that, you don't want somebody like that jumping into a relationship with you because you're going to have to experience on that. So by all means, do not let him being unavailable be the reason that you feel down. Actually look, have a conversation. Remember I said communication and consent? Actually look to see, is he mature enough to handle a relationship, to lead in a relationship? Can he handle you? Can he take care of you? Ask yourself that because it deserves to be answered. Or, like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe he's just on his mission. This ain't the season for that. I'm going to be grinding, locked in for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't want to do that to you. I don't have the time to dedicate the bandwidth, the energy to actually give you a fair shot of what you deserve. And a masculine, MGM status, mature, grounded, masculine man is going to be straightforward about that. We can have fun. We can do what this is right here. And that's all it's going to be. I'm not going to be able to give you more. And I want to be clear about that. Consensual, you're going to be here. You understand what it is. You understand the terms. You understand what we're doing here. No questions asked. And last but not least, if he's not available, not ready, and not looking for a relationship, that's because he enjoys the single life. And I'm sure, ladies, you know all about that. If that's what he enjoys, if the single serve option is what he's continuously selecting, you're not going to be the one to talk him out of that. You cannot and do not need to compete. So if he's ready for a lifestyle of singledom, if he's ready for the revolving door, if he's in a space where he needs to get his experience up, maybe he needs to become qualified, sow his oats, whatever you want to call it, to get to a place where he can lead and be the man that you want him to be. Don't wait around for it. If he's not clear and already in that place, if he's enjoying his single life, let him. And if you're not enjoying your single life next to him, clear of what it is, clear of what's being created, clear of what you're on board for, don't play with it. Don't even bother. Moving on to the next. Why might men avoid good women? Maybe, just maybe, and I don't want to have this at the top of the list, maybe he is intimidated. Maybe he's not up to meeting your expectations. Now, that's not a way to point a finger of blame, and it is a reminder to take in consideration. I myself, Masculinity Architect, have been in relationships, dynamics with women, and had to be with. They can tell me even how amazing I am. And at the same time, if your preferences, your expectations, your desires, how you like life to go, if you've been so independent, so strong, so on your path, and created such a life for yourself, well, is he going to need to fit into that? Is he going to need to get on your program? Is he going to need to get on board with your train? Who's the leader here? Who's following who? And really, genuinely, just ask yourself that, because if you want a masculine, MGM status, mature, grounded, masculine man to show up and lead you in life, in your relationship, in your partnership, do you have so many expectations, comparisons of your past, of your father? Now, don't get me wrong, have your standards. However, are you viewing this man and potentially seeing and loving him for who he is that you are choosing to follow? Or are you looking into his potential? Are you looking into whether you can shape and mold him? And I'll tell you, ladies, why that is a sabotage is because right off the bat, you don't want that man you can control. You don't want that man that you can lay out the instructions and he's following them to the T. Where they say he showed up with flowers, he showed up with all this sweet stuff, came and opened my car door, and I'm like, ugh. You know what it is, ladies? Because that's not truly what it is that you want. Matter of fact, it may be what you want, but it's sure ain't what you need. Otherwise, you go with it. So if that's the case, be mindful, right? Not only what you're putting pressure on a good man, but if he is intimidated, if he is aware enough to acknowledge that, it's not about you. Because the man that is for you is ready to step up. The man that is for you is ready to stretch. The man that is for you will take himself on. MGM status, mature, grounded, masculine man. I want that. I'm going for it. I'm not good enough, says who? Hold my beer. Bet. Let's go. Like that calls out masculine. Tell me I can't have what I want. Why for? Nah, you got it twisted. Not me. Before the buzzer, I'm going to leave it all out on the field. This is said strictly from a masculine man. That's how I operate, and I believe, I assert, that's exactly what you can expect from the mature, grounded, masculine man that is meant for you. So, if a man shows up otherwise and doesn't feel worthy, even a good man doesn't want to hurt you, doesn't want to waste your time. Maybe, like I said, he's enjoying his single life. He's being selfish in the season that it's appropriate. He's on his mission and cannot dedicate that to you. Honor it, accept it. It just is what it is, and he's not the one for you. Have the freedom and flow to let it go. And if it comes back, if it comes around, it's meant to be. Otherwise, don't try and force it. Divine feminine flows with. All right, last but not least, ladies, this is going to be the definite reason a mature, grounded, masculine man would avoid you. He sees a gap in your compatibility between you two. Masculine has the job of macro. Feminine has the job of micro. That is how the dance, the yoking of the energies works together, that yin and yang. You're looking at the day in, day out. What is life together? He's looking at the macro here to the end of time. Do we work? Are we going to be able to do this? Do we make a good team? Can we handle each other? Do we support each other? Are we going to be successful for what it is that we both want to our both interests? So maybe you've crossed his boundaries, and maybe there's the ones he doesn't need to communicate. Maybe it's how you've respected other people. Maybe it's something he observed that does not align with his life goals and beliefs. And at that point, again, going back to you may have access, he may right then and there qualify you only as recreational. Now, if that's the case, enjoy that experience, be present to it. However, this is why you want to hold your value. This is why you want to be mindful of getting in communication and consent. Are we going in the same places, spaces? If he's not readily available, if he's taking his time, if it's a slow burn and you haven't had all these conversations about, well, what is it you want? What is it that you like? What do you see this going into? If he's not giving you any kind of a lead or indication of his interests, you may have crossed boundaries. You may have disqualified yourself. You may have brought some disrespect to the situation without knowing it. Now, a man who's interested is going to let you know. He's going to let you know his boundaries, because at that point, after you cross them, okay, now he's going to have pulled away. But if he doesn't see opportunity in you, if he doesn't see value in you, and he comes across a gap in compatibility, oh no, we won't work. I had a woman I met up to some years ago, long time ago, but sent out a flare, see who's available on the roster and everything, going out to a party and, inviting some plus ones. And one came through. It was a great time. I'm an only child. This is a background story. I'm an only child, so many of my brothers are of different shades and colors. So with that, she's at the party. We're having fun, entertaining each other. Night went great. She disqualified herself without knowing it. While at the party, she was talking about how uncomfortable and weird it was. Out in the burbs, bunch of white boys, and music choices different, jokes, conversation. It's just a different vibe. However, when she said that, she didn't realize these are my brothers. These are my people. Now, I get along with everybody. I got people on every side of town. But at this party, my diversity, you just showed that you can't navigate the same spaces and rooms that I navigate. First and last, we did not connect again after that. So those are the things that you need to be mindful of. Is there's a gap in compatibility? You may or may not know, but you've already disqualified yourself, and now you're recreational only. Accept it, be with it. He's not the man for you. There's nothing to fight. There's just acceptance. And last but not least, the balancing and yoking of divine masculine, divine feminine energy. Some of the things that I already talked to earlier, him not getting the things that he wants, him seeing that there's a gap in what y'all can create together. But when that happens, you may no longer be interested. This is where you paying attention to this information, you getting the knowledge of what you can do, and you flowing into your femininity, because that's going to set up for the polarity. That's going to set up the attraction that masculine, mature, grounded masculine men cannot resist, that they're seeking, that they are yearning for. And when you make that available, they'll make themselves available. They will not be avoiding you in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate you ladies for tuning in. Hope this has been of value. Drop your comments, questions down below. Go pick up that free copy, Deep Dive into the Divine. Learn all about these divine energies. And until next time, I'll be right here, being the best version of myself. One could say beyond empowered. The question is, ladies, who are you going to be? Peace.